Jonathan reached out to me last Friday to tell me that his mother was just diagnosed a week and a half before that, on the day of her husband's first yahrzeit, with a terminal illness. So I told Jonathan I'm going to come over to the house right away to see your mother. Because in general, when I get these calls, I try to go right away because you never know. What struck me standing by the bed of Francine is how calm and collective, at peace she was. She obviously regretted, she was a teacher for many years, that she didn't retire earlier and start traveling. But she was so at peace and so accepting and so in the moment. It was very moving. This morning, Jonathan called me to tell me his mother passed away. And it reminded me again the importance that you have to take advantage of a moment. Never push something off. Never push off something for later on in life, because you never know when is your time. And if someone calls you and lets you know that someone is not well, don't wait, and I'll reach out to them later. Do it right away. But what I mentioned before, what struck me so much about Francine was how at peace and relaxed and calm she was. And we think about our own life, how much things that we feel are not going the way we would like it to be. It could be our personal life, it could be our family life, it could be with our relationship, our children, it could be in business, it could be all of the above. We have anger, anxiety, disappointment, and we can't be at peace. We can't feel happy with our life. What is the trick? What is the key? How can we get to that point where we feel that acceptance, that happiness, that enjoyment, feel the beautiful weather, feel like we're sitting out here in the field? How do we get to it? So I have a little secret for you. There is a book that you read, you study, you analyze it, you meditate about it, and it could help you and help me very much. And that book is called the TANYA. The TANYA was written by the founder of the Chabad Hasidic movement, the Alter Rebbe, which this Shabbos is a very special day because he was put in prison in Russia under the Tsar, accused for sending money to Israel. At that time was under Turkish government, and they made up a story that and at that time the Turkish government was fighting Russia, that he's helping the enemy, which obviously wasn't true. He was sending money to the poor Jews in Israel. And when he was freed from prison, he said that the real reason why he was put in prison is because in the spiritual realms they didn't want him to reveal this Tanya, this great book on Jewish mysticism. And then he wrote the book, the Tanya, and it was taught throughout Europe, translated in many different languages. Until today, we study it every day. And that book of the Tanya gives us such important messages in life. And if we could really implement what the Tanya talks about, it could be a game changer for us. What is the Tanya? The Tanya talks about the mystical part of the world. The Tanya talks about the mystical part with us. The Tanya talks about the deeper depth of our relationship with God. The Tanya discusses the deeper depth of our soul and who we are and what is our mission in life. And the Tanya talks about how when we sit in the field, you see the trees, like you see the tree behind me, and you see everything in the world. God is involved in it, and God is watching over you, and there's a purpose and meaning to everything in our life. And everything has a mission, everything has a purpose. So that's why when certain things happen, we don't say, oh my God, God, why aren't you with me? On the contrary, God is with us in the challenging times. God is with us in the happy times. And everything that happens to us in life has a purpose and there's a meaning for it. You know the story they say about this person after he finished his life, he notices that in the good times in his life, there's footprints of two people walking. And the most difficult times in his life, he sees only one footprint. He turns to God and says, God, how come I see there's two footprints in my happy times in my life? It must be because you're walking next to me. But in the difficult times in my life, I just see one footprint. So you left me. So God says, no. In the difficult time of your life, you see one footprint, you're right, but it's me carrying you. So the Tanya discusses how we have such a deep, intimate relationship with God. Tanya discusses how each mitzvah we do, how that has a deep connection. So it gives a different perspective of our purpose in life, and different perspective of our challenge, a different perspective of our mission. So then, even though it doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy, but you feel it very differently. It's like exercise, right? When you go to the gym and you work out or you run, at the end your foot may be a little bit sore, but you're not upset because you know you just worked out. That's what the Tanya does. The Tanya gives us a deeper understanding of our mission, our purpose, God, what's going on in the world. And then we're able to go through our journey, our life, besimcha, happiness, in spite of maybe some challenging times, recognizing this is what God wants for me at this moment. May God bless us all to have a good Shabbos. You go online, you can study the Tanya, and you can see the books, and you can study it. And this Shabbos, we start the Tanya again from new. And may this Shabbos bring us the real appreciation and deeper dimension of our soul, of who we are, and our relationship with God. Shabbat Shalom.